die Moorsoldaten. Das Lied unserer Kämpfer in den deutschen Konzentrationslagern.
When we discovered the magnitude of cruelty and the consequences of hatred, how come that we were not possessed by an extraordinary, implacable rage of the killers, rage toward those who inspired the killers, rage towards the indifferent, those who knew and were silent. Where is rage?
The earliest memory I have is our parents and friends and neighbors teaching us about what we should do and what we shouldn't do. We had to make sure that we behaved in certain ways, and there was a different world, black and white world. I mean, imagine you living in a society somewhere where blacks and white cannot even talk to each other, cannot work together.
Whites were privileged, blacks were unprivileged, and we lived with signs of symbols of segregation. Whites here, blacks here.
You've got to keep the white and the black separate. And I say segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever.
Urging the governor to end his efforts to prevent 2 Negro students from registering at the university.
The family of a black man killed by Minneapolis police is demanding justice after prosecutors decided not to charge the 2 officers who shot him. Police say body cam video shows Thurman Blevins had a gun and refused orders to stop and show his hands last month. But Blevins' family and supporters say he did not pose a threat.
Federal prosecutors will not bring charges against a New York City police officer involved in the 2014 death of Eric Garner. Garner died after being placed in a chokehold by Officer Daniel Pantaleo. He was trying to arrest Garner for selling untaxed cigarettes outside a Staten Island convenience store.
Because this is an outrage, an insult to injury. You killed my son, and you won't get away with it.
It was a gruesome discovery at this fence. Late Wednesday afternoon, as the sun was setting, 2 bicyclists approached. And at first they said it looked like a scarecrow had been tied to the fence. Instead, the lifeless, savagely beaten body of 21-year-old Matthew Shepard, a University of Wyoming freshman, a gay man, barely alive tonight, in a coma, brain damaged, and on life support.
County of Albany.
Kidnapping, robbery, and attempted murder. A hate crime, according to police, who say the 2 met Shepard in this Laramie bar, tricked him into believing they were gay too, then the 3 left together.
Olson was leaving Sam's Hookah Lounge early Monday morning when he says a man started yelling anti-gay slurs. The man opened his car door and started beating Olson and a friend.
I didn't think that I looked that bad until my mom had taken the picture and shown me.
The swelling on Jared Olson's face has gone down, but the emotional wounds are still deep. The aftermath of an attack, Olson says, happened because he is gay.
I didn't think that it ever happened to me. I thought people were sensible than that.
The Pentagon's new policy for transgender service members goes into effect today. The new regulation keeps transgender troops from serving openly. It also blocks troops from receiving care if they transition to another gender.
But the Defense Department says people can serve if they remain their biological sex. It estimates that nearly 15,000 troops identify as transgender.
I think the first thing that I thought was, what is going on? I was confused myself, and then that kind of turned into being angry, frustrated, and scared.
Scared? Why scared?
Because this is my job, this is my life, this is part of my livelihood. I've served honorably for the last 12 years, and to now be put into a position of being uncertain of what might happen next, that would put fear in anybody, I think.
These children are in a detention camp.
held against their will, first in giant cages in this warehouse on the Texas border with Mexico. Tin foils for comfort blankets. Eventually separated from their parents. Under President Trump's new zero-tolerance policy, their parents are now being prosecuted for crossing illegally into the US. This means the children and minors need to be detained separately. More than 2,000 in 6 weeks and counting. The point of this policy, deterrence.
Agents are scheduled to launch mass raids across the country on Sunday, and thousands of undocumented families could be targeted. The raids are expected to take place in these 10 major cities.
I don't understand the rationale for choosing Miami, and certainly it doesn't make it easier for us as mayors to keep our citizens and those who are in our city, under a normal state of peace and quiet and calm.
The largest single-state immigration raid in U.S. history has divided families in some Mississippi communities. Federal agents yesterday arrested about 680 workers at 7 food processing plants in 6 cities.
Government, please put your heart. Let my parents be free with everybody else, please.
Magdalena Gomez Gregorio pleaded for the return of her dad, one of hundreds of undocumented immigrants rounded up Wednesday by Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The 11-year-old and other children of those arrested stayed at a community center gymnasium overnight after about 600 immigration agents targeted food processing plants across central Mississippi.
My dad didn't do nothing. He's not a criminal.
Breaking news, Harvey Weinstein, once Hollywood's most powerful man, has been found guilty of rape and sexual assault by a New York jury.
They're going to be so traumatized by going through this trial. And I can't even imagine.
Nobody's gonna say anything. Nobody's really gonna say anything.
His appearance in the audience at an event for young actors in October, prompting this reaction from some of those there.
What he had the inability to distinguish was those who were willing and those who were unwilling. And the unwilling have now spoken up. 90 women have made this claim.
Anthony Rapp is best known for his role in the Broadway and movie versions of Rent. The actor says he felt compelled to share his story now after so many women came forward with accusations against Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein.
Actor Anthony Rapp accusing Spacey of making a sexual advance at a party 30 years ago when he was 14 and Spacey was 26. Rapp said Spacey invited him to his Manhattan apartment for a party and made the sexual advance after everyone had left.
My name is Terry Crews. I am an actor, author, former athlete, advocate, and a survivor of a sexual assault. This past year, we have seen powerful men in Hollywood and elsewhere finally held accountable for sexual harassment and assault. We also saw the backlash survivors faced after coming forward.
Because a lot of people will look and they'll go, here he is, former NFL linebacker, 6'3", 240 pounds, just muscles everywhere. How could he be assaulted?
When you get emasculated like that, when I tell you the way he looked at me, the way he giggled, it was one of those things where he was like, hey man, no one's ever gonna believe you.
Do you think it was a way of him maybe exercising power?
It was. I can't even begin to describe to you how bizarre this is. It's so bizarre. I wake up every morning like, is this a bad dream? Mm-hmm. Does this really happen?
My good friends, we never try to tell the tale to make people weep. It's too easy. We didn't want pity. If we decided to tell the tale, it is because we wanted the world to be a better world. Just a better world. And learn and remember